it says we're live, and by the looks of it, I am. Thank you for joining me on this one. My name is Katie. I am a writer, reporter, podcaster in the UK. And I've been doing a bit of research about the cost of living crisis and found a few links to corporations who are also linked to some of our MPs. Allegedly. Just put that in there, don't sue me. So back in July this year, so cat hair. If you're a cat mom or dad, you get it. Anywho, back in July this year, British Gas announced profits of £969 million. That is the equivalent of $1.3 billion in profits. So that's once they've paid all their bills, once they've paid all their staff, etc. That's just what they got left over in pocket change. But that was announced as another energy giant, Shell, reported a profit of 3.9 billion, 3.9 billion pounds. And that translates to approximately $5.1 billion. And quite coincidentally, some of our MPs had or have shares in energy companies. And some even have family members working for / with energy companies. Allegedly. Might be our Prime Minister, whose father-in-law founded Infosys, who have a massive deal with BP and Shell. Anywho, I'm getting distracted. But that's all alleged, just from what I found on the internet. The profits were announced just months after it emerged debt collectors were breaking into homes and forcibly installing pay-as-you-go meters on behalf of British Gas, even when the customers were known to be extremely vulnerable. Friends of the Earth were quoted as saying that in no acceptable reality, where an energy company should see profits rise by nearly 900% over the same period, millions struggle to afford to power and heat their homes. Shadow Climate Secretary Ed Miliband, remember him? Yeah. Accused energy giants of a transfer from families, people who are really struggling to pay their bills, to these big companies and shareholders. Some MPs are shareholders. And regarding Shell, the charity Oxfam described its colossal profits as a gross injustice, a symptom of an economy that is putting short-term profits above people and planet. Shell is a business partner of Infosys, which is a company founded by Narayana Murthy, Rishi Sunak's father-in-law. In July, Shell reported a measly £3.9 billion or $5.1 billion in profits, revealing a big fall in the second quarter in the 3 months to the end of June, down from £8.9 billion or $11.5 billion a year earlier. So they're actually making less profit. Boo-hoo. Only 3.9 billion. Boo-hoo. Centrica, the British Gas parent company, defended the money they have made. They've described it as a one-off and saying that £500 million or $633 million of the profit had to be stripped out and understood as a recovery of costs that were incurred in the past. They had to pay bills, basically. Sorry. British Gas supplies an estimated 7.5 million households and 480,000 small business sites and provided around £50 million of support to customers last year. Also released in July, The same point at which British Gas announced their £969 million profit, just for that quarter, by the way. So, also at the same time, a report was released from Age UK titled "Tackling the Cost of Living Crisis for Older People: What the Government Must Do." Age UK is one of the UK's leading charities dedicated to helping everyone make the most of later life. In the UK, they help millions of people every year, providing support. I hope you can hear me, by the way. It's all that, and you probably can't hear me. In the UK, they help millions of people every year, providing support, companionship, and advice. They also have an international subsidiary, can never say that word, charity, Age International, which works in over 30 developing countries. Age International is a member of the Help Age Global Network and the Disasters Emergency Committee. So that was just a bit of background as to who Age UK are. They asked some of their older campaigners how high energy bills have affected them. Paul, aged 73, said, "I've worked very hard through my life in the haulage industry, only retiring at 70. I'm worried that if I live much longer, I will go into debt." That's a horrible thought, that you can't afford to live. That's so scary, so sad. An anonymous source said, "My wife and I are in our 80s and have a choice to either heat or eat. We cannot afford anything else." Do you hear that, British Gas? Sorry, I'm getting catty. Ray, age 73, said, "To keep up with gas and electric costs, I have cut my food intake to one meal a day. At times, I have had to sell items from my home to be able to use my heating." Another anonymous Age UK campaigner said, "My pension doesn't cover my rent. The price of oil and coal has doubled. My wife, aged 68, has had to go back to work so that we can meet our needs." These are basic needs that people can't meet because they're having to choose, as one of them said, to either heat or eat. That no one should be in that position in 2023 in one of the richest countries in the world. I get so angry. Age UK are calling for a government-funded discounted energy deal or social tariff for disabled people, unpaid carers, and those on lower incomes by April 2024. And something else that came out, I think it was in July. Well, it was done in July. It was a Public Opinions and Social Trends Bulletin, 26th July to the 6th of August 2023, from the Office of National Statistics. They found that 38% of adults, that's almost 4 in 10, who pay rent or a mortgage, were finding it very or somewhat difficult to afford the payments. More than half of adults, 51%, were buying less food. Rising costs was the most commonly reported reason among those who had reported an increase in their cost of living. Around half of the people questioned said that they are using less fuel because of the rising cost of living. Energy payments almost doubled from an average of £108 in May 2020 to almost £200 in June 2023. It's so sad. These people, example, the pensioners, they have worked all their lives, and in this country we have a system where people should be looked after, vulnerable people should be looked after, and pensioners have a restricted income. Their pension is X amount per week. That's it. If they want to increase it, they can go back to work. But the whole point was that they wouldn't have to work, because why do you want to work until you die? I just get so annoyed. But that was my bit of research into the cost of living crisis. Went through some reports, etc. And that's what I found. It's miserable. There does seem to be no light at the end of the tunnel, unfortunately. The government keeps making promises that things will get better, but that's easy for them to say in their ivory towers. Rishi Sunak, our Prime Minister, I think I read he's the richest Prime Minister we've ever had. I think that might be wrong, but he's rich. I think at one point his wife was richer than the Queen, the late Queen Elizabeth. And I'm talking the second Elizabeth, not the first. Just, why does anyone need that much money? It just sits there. What are you going to do with it? It's ridiculous. There should just be a standardized income. Once you hit X amount per year, you don't need any more money. Stop it. Stop being silly. Stop being greedy. It's pathetic. We'll put that into the NHS, for example. And I think I saw Samuel L. Jackson said that the rich need to be taxed. And he said he knows that means him, and he pays his taxes. But as a human, as a member of society, he understands that he has to pay more tax. He understands that that is his right, isn't the right word. That's his duty, almost. He's got the wealth, so he should share it with those less fortunate. That's not verbatim. That's a general idea from what he said. And he got a point. So yeah, that was my lovely, light-hearted research into the cost of living crisis. I am working on some other topics at the moment. Got quite a few in the pipeline. Tomorrow, which is Monday, I will be reporting on the serial killer nurse who was found guilty of murdering 7 babies and the attempted murder of 6 other babies in a neonatal unit in the UK. So I will be reporting on that tomorrow, which is when she is going to be sentenced. So then I will have a full-rounded piece. And yeah, after that, I have a series about the refugee crisis currently hitting Europe. Got some facts and figures, some stories that I found online, things like that. And it's an important story to tell, because the mainstream media are telling you one thing, and there's a different way of looking at it. Look at it from a human perspective. Look at it from a kind perspective. It's just, yeah. The refugee crisis is something that hit hard. So that's probably why I'm going deep into it. But otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for an update in the serial killer nurse case as to what her sentence was. But otherwise, thank you for tuning in. It was nice to see you. And if you like what I do, by the way, side note, I was trying to find a female reporter in the UK who has a YouTube channel. Is there one? I've seen women reporting on different channels, Novara Media, Talk TV, dare I say GB News, all of these others, but it's not the women, it's not that woman reporter, it's not her channel. So I want to know any female reporters out there reporting on information from the UK. I would like some more to watch. So if you know of anyone, please link it below. I'll go and check them out. And please share, like, comment, subscribe. Get me out there, get my voice out there. I want to bring a balanced, somewhat, view of the news. Everything I find, you can find online. I have no, what's the word? Prejudice is the wrong word. I have no ulterior motive. I don't have a point to prove. I just want to report the news from as many different sources as I can gather. I'm returning to my roots of journalism, and I'm quite enjoying it. So now I promise I will let you go. It's already been, 17 minutes. Thank you very much. Like, share, comment, subscribe. You can find me all over the internet. I'm trying to get back onto TikTok. I'm not very good at it. I'm not very good at any of the social medias, but I'm trying. So go over there, support me on YouTube. It'd mean the world. I would really like to be invited on Andrew Gold's channel, for example, for a discussion about a topic, or the Sean Atwood channel, because they have a lot of different presenters, none of which are female, apart from Sean Atwood's partner, who does appear now and again, but I haven't seen many female reporters on there. So this is my application. But yeah, I would like to have a discussion online with people rather than just me talking into my camera. That'd be nice. Now I promise I will leave you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening to me. Comment down below what you think of what I discussed in this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.